on my watch.
I said what I said.
Not on my watch. I'll crush you so badly, you'll regret the rest of your life.
Who the hell are you?
That's for PC people. I'm not PC. The thing is, if you come for me, you're just gonna get gathered. Because no, I'm not having it, John, Adam, or whoever the hell you are. Coming up today on the Gathering podcast. You're saying I'm taking diet pills. You have diet pills and you're not losing weight. Please, this is a public service fucking announcement. Can you please understand and let this thing sink all the fucking way into you? We don't all want to be light-skinned. Right. Hi guys, and welcome back to The Gathering. We are now on episode 2. I have my lovely co-host Shae. Hi guys, how you doing? Hey. First of all, I want to say thank you for 4,701 listens. Yes, 4,700. On our first episode, we didn't have no promotion. It was literally word of mouth. It was you guys, tell a friend to tell a friend. And we've loved the feedback we've got. And we know you're waiting for the next episode. So here we are. Here we are. Right. So after the calm down, after the royal wedding, we are now addressing mental health. So as most of you know, or most of you should know, it is Mental Health Awareness Month. Yep. And in general, people from the black community and ethnic minorities in general are more likely to be diagnosed with a mental health problem. They're more likely to be diagnosed and admitted to hospital. They're also more likely to experience a poor outcome from treatment. And most importantly, they're more likely to disengage from mainstream mental health services, leading to social exclusion and a deterioration in their mental health. Now, my thing is if you have a toothache, you go to the dentist. If you hurt yourself, you go to the doctors. Mm-hmm. The minute we start having mental problems, we sit down and want it to solve itself. Yeah. And I don't know why we do it. Because they don't go away. Yeah. What do you think? I completely agree with that. I think the problem is we have so many stresses in this world that we live in now that your mental well-being is almost put to one side, and it's almost the last thing that you consider, because you know that, if my ankle was broken or sprained, I have to go to the doctors because I have to get to work. And if the doctor doesn't give me something for it and bandage it and make it feel better, I now have the stresses of what's going to happen at work if I'm not there because I sprained my ankle. So I think you're really right. Like, that analogy really does make a lot of sense. And it's unfortunate as well that people don't take their mental health more seriously, because it is just as important as any other function of your body, if not more so, because your brain is the hub of your body, you know. Mm-hmm. What I will say is, I think people don't take their mental health seriously. People around people don't take others' mental health problems seriously as well. Yeah, I agree. And it just leads into it be a mess, and it leads into there being a stigma. The last point that said it makes you disengage from mainstream mental health services and leads to social exclusion. I'm going to share a real life story. When I was 21 years old, I developed what I now know is body dysmorphia. And I literally walk around saying to everyone, I'm so skinny, I'm so fat, sorry. I'm so fat. I was not fat, I was a size 10. And people still are now. People would play it off as banter. It went for 2 years this way, where I was complaining about my weight. And then when I was 23, I woke up one day and I said, I'm not eating no more. And it wasn't a thing where I suddenly stopped. I went slowly and I cut out food. I woke up and I stopped eating. And what I did develop was full-blown anorexia. And that was the worst year of my life. Wow. I excluded myself socially. So if I saw friends and friends said I was skinny, they got locked off. It got to a point where all I was seeing was my man and going to work. Yeah. When I got to work one day and one of my colleagues pulled me to the side and he said, what is going on with you? You're so skinny. I stopped going to work. I was like, all right, you don't want to know my business now. I'm not going to work. I just stayed in my house all day. And I literally just would play games with myself where I would see how long I could go for without eating. You could join a forum. I had stacked up on lollipops when I was feeling lightheaded. And I had anxiety attacks. I had paralysis in my sleep. And no one took it seriously. I went home.
Yeah.
And my brother was chatting some rubbish to me because he thinks he knows it all. He accused me of being on diet pills, and my mum co-signed him. And I was like, you lot don't have a clue what is going on in my life.
Yeah.
And I looked at my mum like, you're saying I'm taking diet pills. You have diet pills, and you're not losing weight. So no,
I hear the light shade and the seriousness.
I have to throw shade at her because she had all the diet things in the world, and they weren't working for you, but you just brushed off as that. And then you know what? They all got locked off as well. It took me seeing someone on the high street, a guy that I knew, and I thought he didn't see me. I thought, fuck, I dodged him.
Yeah.
And then he called on my friends, and he said to my friends, your friend, something's wrong with her. I don't know what it is. I've seen her stay on the high street. She don't look well. And then my friend came to my house that day. She opened the door, and we cried on the doorstep. But even then, when she came, she still didn't know what was wrong with me.
What was wrong?
No one wanted to face the issue. And I literally had to come out and say, I haven't been eating.
Yeah.
And that was that. And that's why when I say you need to get things fixed, if you have a broken leg and you're walking on your broken leg for 2 years, you're always gonna have a limp.
Yeah.
And what I will say is 7 years down the line, I still struggle with my body image and my body and my eating, and I still have to pull myself out of periods where I'd say I don't want to eat again. Like my size 8 skirt is too tight. No, I'm not trying to be a size 10.
Yeah.
So I will starve again. And that's why I say we need to take our mental health seriously. You don't want it to develop into a permanent life issue. You don't want to be living with this. You don't want to be living with it. So I think as soon as the thoughts come into your head, you need to go into the doctors, the therapy. You need to just go and get yourself help.
Yeah. Okay, so firstly, me and Ree have been friends for a long time, and this is something that I actually didn't know about at all. I'm finding this out along with you guys. So first of all, like, I think the first thing is I completely acknowledge what you're saying, and I'm sorry that you had to go through something like that. Body dysmorphia is something that I personally take very seriously. I haven't, I would never, I mean, I think I have very average reactions to weight issues that most women have, but I can't imagine what it would feel like to have it in such an extreme way and to deal with it in that way. And I think the other thing that I will say is that, you know, in the Black community, we're not as sensitive to mental health issues. So when you say it's not just yourself not taking it seriously, but it's also people around you, I completely agree with that.
Yeah.
Because I feel like what ends up happening is they either respond in a way where they back away because they don't know how to deal with it, which when I go into like my own issues, I'll go further into that aspect because that's what I've faced. Or there's the other side where they get upset. And I think when they get upset, it's a lack of understanding.
Totally.
They don't get what you're going through. So for them, they feel like, oh, you're just being silly, because they're afraid as well. There's fear attached to that. So I think lack of understanding and fear is what drives people to be dismissive of real issues. And the problem is, it's unfortunate because the reality of the situation is that that's the time where you need people to rally around you the most. And I think body dysmorphia is such a serious issue because it speaks for your mental health, but it also affects your body. Literally. You know what I mean? So not only are you dealing with something mentally, not only are you isolating yourself, not only are you feeling down, not only are you battling depression, but you're also now having an eating disorder on top of that. So I think it's so complex in that sense. And I think it's people don't realize as well with body dysmorphia that you're looking in the mirror and you're seeing something completely different from what everybody else is seeing.
And people say, stop being so silly or so skinny, just
but that's
eat.
not it.
No, stop. I hate when people tell me to just eat. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Leave me the fuck alone.
Yeah.
Like literally, you can't invite me out to eat unplanned because I need to go to the gym. I need to have my laxy tea. Leave me the hell alone. It's not so simple as telling someone to just eat. And some people have different standards of what they consider slim or what they consider beautiful, but don't try and push that on someone else. Because what it made me do is just lock you off. Like, I don't want to talk to you about it. You clearly don't understand. I'm going to my room to go and starve myself. Goodbye. I don't do that anymore, but that's what I used to do. Like, I just used to go away from you because you think, oh, just being silly. Just go and eat something.
No, that's not it. And I think even for me, like, a lot of the time when I see like women in public, mostly women because it's hard. Like, I know these, like, let me say this. I know these type of disorders do also affect men. I'm not saying that they don't. Obviously, the numbers are far smaller in comparison. But when I do see women on the street who I know they're definitely battling some kind of eating disorder, I do look at them and I can sympathize with them. I'm not the type of person that will say to someone, just go and eat, because I don't believe it's that simple. I'm very sympathetic to what goes on, how the power of the mind. Let's remember that. The mind is such a powerful thing. Your brain can tell you that something is there that isn't there at all. Let's realize that. Your brain can get you to a place where you're hallucinating, that you're seeing or experiencing something that you're not experiencing. So you can only imagine if you're looking in the mirror and you're seeing this image of yourself that isn't actually reality. It's easy for someone to believe that. I think the problem with the Black community is that we have such little experience with these issues that we don't know how to actually address them. And that's what it is. We need to begin to learn how to address these type of issues, what to say and what not to say. That's number one. When you approach somebody and you know that this person is dealing with some type of mental disorder, some type of mental health issue, regardless of whether it's body dysmorphia, schizophrenia, however the hell you say it, bipolar, manic depression, which is obviously bipolar as well. Like, whatever it is, just know what to say and what not to say. I hear people say ignorant shit like, oh, why would someone want to kill themselves? I think that's so stupid. I think that's so selfish. And I hear that predominantly from Black people.
Do you know what they've been through? Do you know their story?
Do you even know what has gotten that person to that place? Why they feel like they want to take their life? Are you even considering the fact that the person is vulnerable in that moment? And when they're hearing you say that, it makes it even worse. You're actually adding to that person's dismay. Like, it's extremely disorientating to be dealing with suicidal thoughts. I know, I'm speaking from experience. It's something that people don't realize. It's not selfish. In fact, it's a very difficult decision to make, especially if you're a religious person. I'm religious. So for me to have arrived at that place where I felt like, you know what? There's actually no other way. I cried. Like, I cried out to God and I said to him, God, please provide me a way out, because this isn't actually the solution that I want. So for people to sit there and say, oh, it's so stupid, it's selfish, just get over it, that's ridiculous to me.
I think it's a last resort for some people.
It is a last resort.
Finished to want to not be here anymore.
Exactly.
Like, I can't imagine not wanting to not be here anymore. Some days are hard. Some days I'm like, I just want to pack it all in. But to just want to take your life to say no, I don't think it's selfish. I think that someone's going through something and they just need a way out.
Yeah.
Like, literally, to go and jump off a bridge, to go and jump in front of a train, you just, what must be going through your mind to wake up and
it's not an easy way out
to the train station?
Exactly.
And knowing that you're going to do this, like, literally, like, what must be going through their mind to kill your whole family? Like, we really need to sit back and question it rather than just make a snap decision. Oh, that was very selfish of her. If she wants to kill herself, she should have killed herself. Why should she do it to her children? Because you don't know what she's gone through in this life, and maybe she doesn't want her children to go through this thing called life. Yeah, so she took them with her.
That's it.
I just think we need to have better understanding.
Yeah,
just be a bit
acknowledgement. I think acknowledging that everybody's going through. The funny thing is that if you actually sit down and talk to people don't even. A lot of people don't even have it as well put together as they would like you to think. Some people are actually living life on the edge. Like, they're literally, every day is a different day for them. It's so when, like, people like, let's say Jennifer Lewis, who was on the Breakfast Club and she was talking to Charlamagne and she was saying that she was bipolar, and I noticed that when bipolar well, yeah, Charlamagne is bipolar. When Charlamagne brought up the whole bipolar thing, I think he was thinking of it as type 2, and she even had to quickly break it down to him that no, I'm not suffering from hallucinations and voices in my head. I'm actually suffering from depression is what it is. It's manic depression. So it's like, you have highs and you have lows. Your highs are so high that you feel like you can do anything at any time. You've got it made. You're going places. No one can stop you. And your lows are like, you want to turn off the light, lay on the floor and just curl up into a ball and not even speak to anyone. And as someone who has actually dealt with that, I've dealt with that for years and years and years. And I remember the first time I ever dealt with it, I was around 21. And I remember just feeling like, you know what? I didn't know what it was. At the time, I had no idea it's what I was dealing with. I just thought this was just me. And it had started when I was around 15, and I got over it really quickly because I was young and there was so much going on. But when I got to that point, I wasn't in uni yet. I was working, but I wasn't doing anything really productive, and it started to get to me. And I just had those days where I was really like, happy, high, everything's going amazing, I'm having such a good time, life is great, I'm young. And then like, just like that, at the drop of a hat, it would just switch. And I would just want to be by myself. I would isolate myself. I would close the door behind me, turn off the light. There were times, it actually got to a place where my mother couldn't find me, and she called the police because I was in my house for like a week in the dark. And no, I turned my phone off. At the time I was like living by myself, obviously. So, you know, there was no one to like come and find me or anything. People would come and knock on the door. My friends would come into my house, like knocking on the door, and they couldn't get, like, no one was there. And then finally when I came out, I remember like getting in my car and I went to like the supermarket or something, and I came back and there was like the police had left like a little slip. Oh my gosh. The police had left a little slip, and sorry, but a black cat just jumped onto the window ledge, and I swear that's the devil trying to come true. But yeah, so I had like the police had left a slip saying, please call us, which we came to do a safeguarding call out. And one of my neighbors, they'd gone and checked with my neighbors, and one of my neighbors had said that they'd seen me. And then, you know, everyone was just like, what's wrong? And for me, it was like, my family were really sympathetic towards what I was going through, but they didn't understand it. So no one sat down and spoke to me. I know they care, but they just did not know how to process anything and what to say. And that's the problem. I felt like I would have actually benefited from, because I did get a lot of like help with that. I saw a psychiatrist and a psychiatric nurse. And I remember like seeing them, and in my head now, in hindsight, and you know, hindsight is 2020, I thought actually I would have benefited from someone coming to talk to me and my family, because some of my issues were coming from them as well as myself, you know?
It's true. I think therapy helps. And even one of my friends, I was talking to her, she's just come out of a breakup, and you know what she said to me? She was like, Ree, I'm going to go and get therapy, because these things, we need to get help for them. Even I've been through like a tricky situation for the past couple of months, and she was like, you need to go and talk to someone. I think sometimes as people, you come out of like 5-year relationships and they just end, and then we just want to sit in our houses, start wearing less and going out more and just fix ourselves. You don't talk to no one, but you think about the 5 years, and when you deep it, you think about what the fuckery that's gone on in this fucking relationship.
It's true.
Why are we not talking to people? And I think white people do it all the time. We laugh at them. Look at them going for counselling. But they're getting their minds right.
Exactly.
We're sitting here and we meet someone new, and then we think about the fuckery that we went on in our last relationship. I can't deal with no more fuckery. Like if I've got one more relationship left in me, and I will have a mental breakdown.
I don't have any more. I'll kill someone, honestly.
Like literally.
Like I'll snap. I think I'll actually snap. I've gotten to that place where I've dealt with enough. And you're so right. Like I think that's the other thing. Like toxic relationships. I was in a toxic relationship. And it wasn't even toxic to the point where it wasn't verbally abusive and it wasn't physically abusive, but it was emotionally abusive. And I'm telling you now, yeah, you can get your ass beat, you can get called bitch, cunt, all of the disgusting shit that can come out of someone's mouth. But I'm telling you, when someone taps into your emotions and plays with your mind, like that shit is so fucked up. And now when I think about it, I think I had to do self-inventory and self-therapy. I self-medicated to get myself out of that. And even now, I'm pretty sure there's remnants of that left in me. Hence why I'm now saying that another nigga fuck with me, I'm going to snap.
Do you know there's actually a film where, I can't remember the name of the film, but the woman has gone through so much toxic things in her life, and she says to him, don't play with me. Do not play with me. I've been through all of this. Do it to another woman. Yeah. He did it to her. She killed him, and she got found not guilty of murder. Oh my gosh. Like, because she had warned him.
It's the crime of passion.
Don't do this to me. Yeah. And she killed him because she couldn't take it no more. Yeah. So we just need to get our mental health checked out
together. Yeah.
And I honestly do.
And oh, by the way, we're not saying that physical abuse is not as serious as emotional. I think they can be all just as serious as each other. I have a family member that went through verbal and emotional abuse from her ex-husband, and she went to therapy, and I was so proud of her when she actually came out and said, because we said, how did you deal with the divorce? She said, I went to therapy. And I wish I'd had that in my mind to go to therapy, because I never blamed myself. I knew it wasn't my fault, but I still didn't feel satisfied with the resolution in the end. But I guess the vindication came from walking away. But yeah.
And what I will say is that I honestly don't think anyone cares about the mental health of black people or people of colour. I don't think we have anyone out there that cares. I mean, there was a documentary on BBC Three called Being Black and Going Crazy, and it was by someone, I'm not going to name him, but he's got some sort of clout on Twitter and Instagram as well. So Being Black and Going Crazy, yeah. Do you know the person that did this documentary?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it was basically exploring mental health amongst black people in the UK, and why black people are more likely to be diagnosed with mental health conditions and being sectioned and so forth.
Yeah.
And this is why I'm saying no one takes black mental health seriously, because this same show person for black mental health had a tweet like this: "A lighty can set me up any day. I'll forgive her. I dare a dark-skinned thing to try. I'll get to her pitch if I was captain of the Titanic. We'd let lighties on the lifeboats first. Dark-skinned girls get to go on after men." First of all, how fucking dare you? You do not go on the BBC and talk about being black and going crazy, and in the same breath of air come for a dark-skinned woman. Do you know what? I'm tired of dark-skinned women being used as a platform to drag, and then we now realise we did wrong and better yourself of dragging a dark-skinned woman. It's not happening. These same tweets like this can drive a dark-skinned woman crazy.
Yeah.
Everyone needs to be careful about what they say. When this documentary came out, I couldn't wait to watch it, because I was like, yes, let's explore. Yeah. Let's talk about the big issue, which is mental health.
Especially where you're someone who's actually gone through.
He's gone through it.
No, as even yourself, like you've actually gone through something like that.
I was like, I'm ready to watch this, but then you sit down on Twitter, and I think he dragged dark-skinned women for 5 years, dragging the same black people that you wanted to explore the mental health.
The same people that you wanted to actually give exposure to.
No one cares. You have a platform, you did that, and that's the one I couldn't even take that documentary.
Sorry, hold on. As someone that actually works in entertainment, I need to ask this: Did they continue doing projects with him?
I don't know, because I became so disinterested after that. But my thing is,
I'll be very surprised, because the BBC
after seeing his tweets about dark-skinned women, I now didn't care for the documentary, because I feel like everything that you've done in that documentary is bullshit. Like, you don't care about black people, because someone that cares about black people is not going to go on Twitter to start dragging dark-skinned women. And colorism, and it's a big part of mental health. There could be dark-skinned women who are sitting there thinking, I've not got hair because of the colour of my skin.
Yeah.
And it can drive them into depression.
Exactly.
And you have had depression. Your tweets can make a dark-skinned woman depressed. What the fuck is wrong with you?
I think, do you know what it is? The problem is, you have a lot of irresponsible people who are on social media using their platform for fuckeries. They're not using it responsibly. They're using it to tell jokes, clown people, and they're refusing to take life seriously. And guess what? When you do clownery, the clown comes back to bite. So it might be fun and jokes. Do you know what? So we actually spoke about this before, and I pieced together an open letter to this person and to whoever else thinks like this person. So I'm going to read through it as quickly as possible, because it's a little bit lengthy. Right. What makes me most angry about such comments is what they do to the mental well-being of young dark-skinned girls who are impressionable and whose lives revolve around social media. Did you even think about that? I'm not personally offended, because he wasn't talking about me. I've always chosen to not allow myself to be associated with any negative connotations about dark-skinned women, because in my world, they don't exist and they're completely untrue and unfounded. We're beautiful women. We are the most exotic, dark chocolate. I'm not talking about anybody else in this instance. I'm just saying I think dark-skinned women are beautiful because that's how I have been raised. But remember, when you black men laugh and find this type of discrimination comedic, and even worse, agree with it, you're only laughing at yourselves. The dark-skinned girl that you laugh at today could be the dark-skinned daughter that you have to raise tomorrow. Genetics are not guaranteed, and that's especially to you dark-skinned men. We are not the victims, you are. Notice how it's always the darkest who throw the most hate around. It's about their low self-esteem and feelings of inadequacy and being lesser than. Hurt people hurt people. They feel so low, and the easiest way to make themselves feel better is to deflect onto what the world views as weaker than them. Women, more so dark-skinned women. We're at the bottom of the totem pole. Let's be real. This is what happens when you spend your time chasing clout and seeking validation from everywhere, including strangers on the internet, except for yourself. So because you can't stand your own reflection in the mirror, that's a dark-skinned woman's fault? No way. Go and deal with those demons that are doing you and leave us alone. We're good. And we've been good. The only time we're not good is when we're under attack for no reason. So fuck you.
My thing is...
I'm done.
My thing is a message to anyone, black, white, Asian. If you have a problem or you feel to need to drag someone that is of your own race, what you look in the mirror, your own reflection, then I honestly believe that that's also a mental issue. And I want you to go and get therapy.
Get help.
Dark-skinned men, black men, dragging dark-skinned women. And I'm not saying you have to like them or want to be in a relationship with them. You can have your preference, be into what you want, but you don't have to drag the dark-skinned women down.
Yeah.
That is a mental health issue.
And
I feel like a lot of men, and I'm reaching for the men because
you're the ones that are the forefront.
Rooted issues,
yeah,
and in the black community, and I will hear a lot of women discussing exes, and they'll be like, he wasn't well, he ain't right. I say it about someone that I've dated. I sit here and say he ain't well, and I'm not even saying that to be like malicious, but when I sit back and look at how our relationship was, you're not well, and I just feel like
you need to get help.
Go and get help. The same way black people have a problem with going to the clinic, anything that leads to stigma, they don't want to do it. But these are things you need to take seriously, because as I said, I let mine rise for 2 years and now it's probably irreparable. You lot want to carry on with these thoughts in your head, it's going to be irreparable, and then you're going to be done.
I think, do you know what, let me say this. This is what I've kind of taken from this whole issue, that, and I'm going to address the dark-skinned men, because the dark-skinned men that think that way, mainly because I don't really care about what light-skinned men think. They're not allies of dark-skinned women, so I'm not really caring too much about their perception. We don't really cross paths too much with them, and they don't really have much to say about us anyway. And light-skinned women, I'll get onto you after I'm done with the dark-skinned men. Dark-skinned men, I feel like a lot of it is less to do with us, and obviously more to do with them, like I just said in that that open letter. And I think the reason why is because I think it's how the world treats you and how the world perceives you. You guys are perceived as criminals, thugs, even when you're wearing a suit. You can be driving a nice car with a nice job and even wearing a suit at that time and get pulled over and still be treated like a 16-year-old who had weed and a knife in his pocket. So the reality is, I know what your position is in this world, and I know how you're viewed. And guess what? As a black woman and many other black women, and I'm not talking about complexion, there's women across the whole spectrum who have had your backs in regards to that. So for me, I just kind of feel like it's more about you guys trying to prove something to an imaginary person. Because if you're trying to prove it to white men, they don't give a fuck. They don't care if you don't like dark-skinned women. If you're trying to prove it to yourselves, you're lying to yourselves, because you know that's a lie. You know for a fact there's no way that a dark-skinned man can be good looking and a dark-skinned woman not be good looking. That doesn't even make sense, because if you look exactly the same, that means if you're saying dark-skinned women are unattractive, then you too are unattractive, and we all know that's not true. Dark-skinned men are beautiful.
I love them.
I love dark-skinned men.
My damn weakness, 6 foot and above. I'm off my pants.
Listen, 6'4", tall, dark, all of that, love it.
And I'm not even an angry black woman. I'm not.
That's the worst part. Woman. That's the other thing. Don't label us as angry because we're trying to. Just don't listen to respond. Listen to actually understand. Because the reality is, when we speak about these issues, and this is one part of the reason why I don't really speak openly about these issues, is because you guys can be so dismissive. You don't want to hear it. When we're telling you what it is on our side and on our end, you seem to think it's always an attack, and it's not. And listen, a hit dog will holler. A hit dog will holler. If it applies, reply. If it doesn't apply, don't reply. You don't have to get upset at every little thing that's said. It doesn't necessarily mean that you as a whole of black men are under attack. We're just stating our experience. You can't dismiss somebody else's experience. It's the same thing as when black people are talking about racism and then a white person walks in and says, no, that's not how racism is. It's like this. Well, how the hell would you know? You've never experienced it. Shut the fuck up and sit the fuck down. If you've never been a black woman in any space at all, you have no right to dismiss anything we're saying. When black men stand there and they tell us about their experiences and they're like, this is what I went through and this is what I went through, we have your backs. Literally. We get angry. We get more pissed than you do.
I ride out.
But when we say, look, that white guy over there is disrespecting me and da-da-da-da. Oh, what did you do? What did you say? Did you have an attitude with him? That's what I hate. Do you know what? Don't do that shit. I ride out for my black men. I am your biggest fan. Like, literally, I see a guy getting stopped in his car and I'm slow walking thinking, do I need to get involved? Do I need to record? Every time, not just black men, anyone black in general, if I see any injustice going out on the street, I'm ready to back you. Like, literally, I'm not an angry black woman. Hold on, we've actually gone off topic here, by the way. We were talking. Yeah, so we've gone off topic, but the whole topic so to really just finish off what I was saying in terms of like the whole dark skin issue, I think, dark skinned men, you guys need to acknowledge the fact that you are some of the biggest culprits. And I'm not talking about all dark skinned men. I'm talking about the ones that have an issue with dark skinned women. You can date whomever you want to date. You can have your preferences, but your preference should have nothing to do with the degrading of dark skinned women. If you are so bothered about us to the point where you have to mention us every time you want to date a Becky or you want to date a Lighty, well then my thing is that you're clearly obsessed. You're clearly bothered, and we're probably where you really want to be at, but maybe you was rejected and now you're feeling a type of way. Bad experiences. This is why I say therapy is important. Therapy, please. This is why I say no matter what relationship, you bringing it back to mental health, no matter what you go in life, if you've been through something toxic, if you've been through something difficult, go and sort your head out, because this is where these things come from. Yeah. I remember listening to a guy called Felipe and Vanessa Phelps' radio show. God. And his passion, his dislike for black women was so deep rooted. I remember one of the callers said that she feels sorry for the white woman he's going out with because you don't like white women. You don't like white women. You're just so angry at black women that you're dating white women. Mm-hmm. Felipe needs to go and get therapy for whatever black woman put his ass through some toxic shit. I'm sorry, Felipe, if that happened to you, but you didn't get therapy and now you're running around like a madman on radio shows talking shit. Exactly. So I just think everyone, we all need to get our heads sorted out. And I feel like even that guy, even this same guy, like this same mental, he clearly, I feel like he's had very negative experiences with dark skinned women. He has. And I don't know where he comes from, but maybe wherever he comes from, he feels like he wants to detach himself from that, and the best way to do that is to degrade the women who looked like where he comes from, so that he can now be associated with something else because he feels like he's lesser than. I don't know. It sounds like he has serious issues, and obviously he has mental health issues, which I think probably play into depression, that. But my thing is with this person. Well, there you go. He needs to deal with that. You're either here for the mental health cause, you're not. I feel like it's the same person that you want to find out the deep roots of mental health, but if black women start coming out and owning their mental health issues, you probably drag them on Twitter as well. Yeah, exactly. There you go. That's it. And you know what? Like, I feel like, okay, I won't go too much into this, but I feel like, the whole, some light-skinned women, not all light-skinned women, definitely not, because I have light-skinned friends and I have light-skinned aunts and cousins and stuff, and my older sister is very light-skinned as well. But some light-skinned women, they play into this whole dark skin thing, and they tell, like, obviously the Maya Jammers and all of them, they do play into that because it's beneficial to them. Steph London, it's beneficial to them. But the problem is, you can benefit from something without having to also join in with the heckling and the throwing salt on people and putting people down and stuff. You can actually just be yourself without having to do all of that. But it's the validation that they're given by these men who are saying it that makes them feel comfortable to go ahead and say it as well and to put them down. But my thing is that you, especially for the ones that are out there, Steph London and Maya Jama, you have a fan base, and your fan base includes young, impressionable, dark-skinned girls. What the fuck do you think they're gonna feel like when you guys are out here tweeting shit about dark-skinned women? And I don't care how long ago it was. That doesn't matter to me. I don't care how old you were, because guess what? They said Maya was 21 or something like that when she was tweeting that. They said it was 4 whatever years ago. Well, when I was 21, I was living on my own, paying rent, driving, and doing everything that I needed to do as a responsible adult. So if I was able to do, thank you.
She was on a
20,
podcast
you're a
this
grown
week.
ass fucking woman. You should
podcast.
know better than that. At 21 years old, you know better. If you're talking about a 10-year-old, maybe I can agree that they've got space to grow and learn. But where you're talking about someone who's a grown adult, you're not a baby, and we're not going to baby you. You're wrong, and you shouldn't have done that. I don't give a fuck what you think. I don't care, because my thing is that you're not the judge of what anybody looks like. I don't want to hear
from you, my Jamma.
No one gives a fuck.
You're on a podcast this week talking about colorism.
Oh, was she trying to save herself?
If those tweets didn't get resurrected, would you have brought the topic up? My thing is, you people need to stop using dark women as a stepping stone and something that you learn from. Don't come for us in the first place. And what I will say is that I don't see a light-skinned person as a threat to me or better than me. I wake up every day. I'm black girl magic. I'm a black queen. I work in a city and I get all races trying to move to me on a fucking daily basis. I love my melanin very much.
Get it, girl.
And I've never even looked at myself as someone that can't do something because I'm dark skinned. And I'm just so happy. Where I work, it's all about brains and hiring the best people.
There you go.
They ain't trying to hire the lightest shade of the person.
Nah.
So I think there's so much more to this life than the creative industry and the music industry.
Yeah.
Y'all can go and have your light skin privilege, but let me tell you this come into my work environment, you'd never survive. You didn't have the brain cells to do so. Good night.
You know what? That's the issue. Like, that's another thing that really irritates me. When black girls say that we're comfortable, like dark-skinned girls, we're comfortable in who we are. For us who are very confident and we're happy in our skin, people don't believe us. They think we're lying. They think we're covering it up.
Too much.
Please understand. Please. This is a public service fucking announcement. Can you please understand and let this thing sink all the fucking way into you? Mm-hmm. We don't all want to be light-skinned.
Right.
I'm happy being who I am. I've never desired to be light-skinned.
You know what I mean?
Not even a day in my life. On my mother's side, everybody's light with long hair and Well, no, actually, that's a lie. My mum has light sisters. My grandmother had long hair and she was very fair, and my sister's very fair. I have never had do you know how proud I am to look like the woman that I look like? I am so happy. Like, even when some of my aunts look at me and they say to me, oh my gosh, because we come from a certain tribe and I look like a very typical woman from our tribe. Do you know how much pride I take? And we're very dark. Not very dark, but we're dark. I wish I was darker. We're tall, very Amazonian, we're curvy. Like, I'm so satisfied with the way that I look, and that's even not even based off of how other people perceive me or how men perceive me. I don't even give, that's so secondary. I'm happy in my own skin. I may have flaws in terms of, I want to lose weight, I want to do this, I want to do that, but the reality is I'm happy with my blueprint. I don't need to look like Maya Jama. I don't need to look like, definitely don't need to look like Steph London. I definitely don't want to look like anybody else.
I don't want to be no one else but me.
Regardless of complexion. I just want to be me. Exactly. Literally. So cut that shit out. Not every dark-skinned woman wants to fucking look like you or be. I don't even bother with none of you. Like, you guys are really just over there deluding and lying to yourselves and gassing yourselves and pumping your own heads up. The reality is that no one gives a fuck. And I'm not talking about all light-skinned women, so stay the fuck out of your feelings.
And on that note, good night. Right.
And goodbye.
So moving on, and I saw something on Instagram. I think it was yesterday. Mm-hmm. And it really irked me. It was from ZZ Mills. And I love ZZ Mills. I've loved her from Headscarf Diary Day. She just keeps it real and she doesn't give a fuck about you lot's opinions.
That's it.
She put this on her Instagram. I need 2 brave men who will openly admit that they don't date dark-skinned women. I desperately want to have this open table discussion. DM me, please. So she didn't come at anyone. Yeah. She just wanted to have a discussion.
Just that. That's what she wrote.
556 comments later. This is, imagine looking at her other pictures and seeing like 40 comments on these pictures. Black men. She didn't say to you, she wants to argue. She didn't say she wants to fight. She didn't come at you. Yeah. Not liking dark-skinned women. She just wanted to have a discussion.
Always in their feelings.
And you lot did the most talking. You're talking about how black girls do their weaves. You're talking about dark skin this in your DMs. You're talking about I don't want no dark skin.
Oh, shut the fuck up.
That is not what she asked. She did not ask you for your opinions. She just said she wants to have an open table discussion. But you lot who have the IQ of a fucking newborn baby,
fish. IQ of a fish.
Newborn baby, you have come into her comments to start a fucking mess. And I don't think there was one dark skinned guy that said, I'll have this discussion. And my thing is that with you black men, yeah, who don't date dark skinned women, it's not that you don't date dark skinned women, you're skipping into the sunshine of races. You don't date dark skinned women, and you like to highlight the fact that you don't date dark skinned women. You like to tell us why, and you won't shut up about it. Yeah. It gets to the point where...
Guarantee you there's going to be guys that are going to say, you see, listen to these two girls. That's why I don't fuck with dark skinned girls.
Okay, my problem with you black men is that every time a dark skinned woman or a black woman has to say something, you're not listening. You're listening so that you can counter-gather us. You want to come back with an attack and a defense. What I need you black men to do is listen to us and not respond. Unless you are a transsexual and you have lived life as a black woman previously, you have no right to talk. Stop trying to give us advice. Stop trying to tell us what to do. Do you know what? Yeah, I listened to another podcast. Yeah, who said they had black guests on their show and they put it to them. So I just want to ask you one simple question.
Yeah.
Tell me the struggles of a black woman day to day. These people went deaf and dumb.
Wait, hold on. What were they? They were black men. So of course, because how would they know?
As a black man, she said, as a black man, and she knows them quite well. They get on, they kiki with each other. Yeah. As a black man, I want to ask you, what are the struggles of a black woman day to day?
Wait, sorry, hold on. So they didn't even just have examples of things that they've learned because they don't care to know them. They obviously didn't care to know.
A lot of black men don't know the day-to-day struggles. Every time we talk, we're angry, or we're not doing this right. We're not doing that right.
You need to ask why we're angry. For the ones who are angry, you need to ask why.
I mean, it's ridiculous. I mean, as a black woman, you can start a new job and you don't know no one, so you're quiet. You've got an attitude problem. White blonde girl starts a job, she's quiet. Oh, she's just shy. Why can't the black girl be shy as well? Why can't I be shy? I'm shy. I don't know you. What do you want me to do?
My sister gets that a lot. My sister's very shy and very quiet, and like so many times she's gotten that, especially from a lot of some black guys as well, where they've perceived her as she's got an attitude problem or not. It's like, no, she's actually just shy and very like my sister's extremely shy and very quiet, and she doesn't just smile for no reason. What do you want them to do? Sit at their desk smiling to themselves, and then you'd be like, oh, that black girl's weird.
Literally, we can't win.
You just can't. And I think that's the problem as well. I would never be so ignorant as to sit there and say, I know what a black man experiences day to day. My brothers tell me things that they experience day to day. And even I'm like, whoa, like shit, okay, I've experienced some shit, but damn, that sounds like really, like my brother will say, because my brother lives outside of England. He lives in another part of Europe, and where he lives is quite racist. And he's just like, always constantly being perceived as a threat. And even I feel like that when I'm there. And I feel like that even when I walk into shops. I'm so conscious of the fact that I'm black. But, I can't still sit here and say that I know what a black man goes through day to day, because I know it must be difficult. I'm a black female. I don't get pulled over. If I'm driving, I rarely ever get pulled over, but black guys have a different experience. They're getting pulled over all the time. So must I sit here and now start saying, oh, well, I never get pulled over, so what you're saying is just rubbish. Oh, they'll get over it. It's not that serious. They didn't do nothing to you, though. They didn't kill you, though. I would never do that. I'm still going to acknowledge that that's a problem. So it's like, for people to sit there and have so much to say, but don't want to sit down and listen to what black women actually experience, I think that's ridiculous.
I think it's hard to get an intelligent conversation out of dark-skinned men or black men in general that don't support or root for black women. I mean, you lot show more support for Meek Mill. I've heard a lot of talk about Liverpool and the Champions League, but when it comes to a black woman, you lot are all the way over there, way over there, trying not to be around us. One of the comments on the ZZ Mill's page talked about, I bet you all these dark-skinned girls have filters on their faces. This is why can't we not have an intelligent discussion with you? And this came from a grown-ass black man who looks like he's.
And what's worse is that don't other women use filters as well? Don't white women, light-skinned women, Chinese women, don't Indian women, Asian women? I think most women, a lot of women use filters. Not most, sorry,
black
a lot.
Women are always calling themselves queens. Do you even know what a queen is? Dark skin women are brought up to think light skin is better. My mum did not bring me up to think being light skin is better.
Neither did
my
mine.
aunties used to call me black and fucking shine when I was younger.
There you go.
Please, I don't know what coonery you were growing up around with, but don't paint all dark skin women with the same brush. That is not me. That is not my family. That is not any of my friends or anyone I know. We all are being dark skin and we run with it.
Let me tell you this. I think lack of education and lack of resources in life in general plays a huge part in that kind of mentality, because when I look at my brothers My brothers think the total opposite to people like that. And my brothers are very well educated. They have a private school education. They're both highly intelligent, and they're both in numbers, accountant and economics. So they don't think that way. They have and they're very well traveled. So they have a far broader experience of the world, and they've dated white girls. Like, they went to an international school. My brother's first girlfriend was a Swedish girl, blonde hair, blue eyes, Aryan looking girl. But my brother loves him a black girl. He loves him. They weren't dating white girls they would never date a white girl and put down a black one. They've always hailed black women as the number one pinnacle. I remember Mystique back in the day, I used to think Alicia Dixon was like the prettiest one. My brothers loved Sabrina, and I remember one day I actually said, like, we were watching MTV or something, and like I think it was came on, and I was like, oh, hey. And yeah, that came on, and no, it was all I want is for you to be with me.
I don't know that one.
Loving you. That song was a tune, but yeah, so it was the remix. I think it was a Starship one, and yeah, like, I was like, damn, Alicia's so pretty. She looks so good. And I do think Alicia Dixon is really pretty. She's so nice. Like, I've spoken to her before. She's just a really nice, very warm person. But my brothers were like, Sabrina is the ting. And at the time, I was like, what are you talking about? Sabrina's the ting. But they were like, nah, Sabrina is the one. Look at her body. Look at her face. Like, they just love Sabrina. And Sabrina was the dark one. So I was just like, okay, like, that's how my brothers are. So for me, I've never had an issue. That's part of the reason why I've never had an issue with myself. I just think,
have your preference. Who cares?
Have your preference, and that's fine. But you don't have to put down other women.
Down. I can't imagine a white man dating an Asian woman and start coming for all white girls.
Because they don't do that. They don't.
It's only black men that do that. It's only black men that when you're in a restaurant with their white counterpart, they feel uncomfortable. Yeah. And I feel like it's black men that put it into white women's head that we have a problem. And I'm going to stand up here and speak for 99.9% of the black female population. We don't give a fuck. You're not the only black man out there. Yeah. Like, literally, and half the time, no one's even looking, shitting or pissing your fucking direction.
Exactly.
So carry on walking. Like, I'm just tired of it. I feel like the conversation needs to be had with intelligent black men.
Yeah.
Talk
not
about your
these
preference.
Dummies.
This guy is on here saying, oh, with dark-skinned women and the way they behave and this and that. But all of you lot are drug dealers. All of you lot need to get stopped and searched. The next time you play loud music in your car, you deserve to get shot at the back of your head.
Oh,
that's where we're going. No,
what
you're not going to do is say all black women are this, all black women are that.
True.
You can't paint everyone with the same brush. Just like not all white
that's
people
the type
are
of women
racist.
that they hang around. You need to get yourself around some better version of dark-skinned women.
I tell people I work, I tell people what I do, and they're like, that's rare. You don't get many black people in that profession. The CEO of the fucking company, the one at the top, is a dark-skinned woman. How about that?
There you go.
How about that?
Look at that. And you know what? All right, let's actually keep it real. When you go into the corporate world in the UK, majority of the black people that you do see are black dark-skinned women.
Dark-skinned girls
sorry, that's literally, and they're the ones that are in managerial positions. They're the ones that are the most successful. Actually, I think it's either in America or the UK. I have to double check it, but no. Actually, in the UK, West African girls are doing the best. They're actually the fastest progressing out of all of the races and all of the genders. That tells you a lot, primarily because the numbers are huger, like much larger of West African girls in the UK outside of like any others. That's not to say that the rest of us aren't able to do well, but it's because you guys come here more. You want to leave Nigeria more and West Africa more than I guess other people want to. But yeah, so it's like, you guys are doing the best, and that does reflect, because all the places that I've worked, especially when I still worked in the corporate world before I went into entertainment, most of the girls who were doing well, who were up there and had like managerial positions, they were dark-skinned girls. They were dark-skinned women. I seldom saw, and this is no shade to anybody, I'm just keeping it real. This is just my own perspective and what I saw from the corporate world, and that was from working in multiple places in the city and in Canary Wharf. So
I rarely see I work in professional services. I currently work in public sector regulation, and I've not seen a light-skinned female. I have seen some light-skinned males, but I've not seen a light-skinned female, which is why I say colorism doesn't affect my day-to-day. Exactly. Which is why I'm saying I'm not an angry black woman, because it's never affected me.
Yeah.
I've never been pipped to the post because of a light-skinned person. Maybe in the entertainment industry, it's more so, but I'm thinking...
No, it's more so, even in entertainment, I will say this from an entertainment perspective, they don't care about what complexion you are in entertainment. First of all, that you rarely ever see black females anyway. Like, for me personally, I'm usually the only black female on the team, and I'm amongst white males and maybe one or two females, like outside of the office, if we're talking on location and stuff like that. But the reality of it is that light skin, they don't care about that in entertainment. And even it's more of an American thing to care about the complexion. Even even if Maya Jama was dark, I think she'd probably just be able to do just as well. It's more the fact that she's attached to Stormzy. Yeah. It's not her on her own because she's kind of boring anyway. So I don't believe that she would have been able to get the kind of career because she's got it. She's okay. She's a very bog standard presenter as far as TV goes. She's very bland.
She was
and I'm
like fresh
keeping
out
this
of
real.
last year, and we were all like, "Why is she here?"
Yeah.
I think she said one word. Like,
she's boring.
She was boring.
She's boring.
I hope she ain't gonna be there this year.
She's boring. She hasn't really. She's a good presenter, but it's very bog standard kind of stuff. I like Yinka. Yinka's much more interesting. You know, Yinka. I think she's on Capital Extra. Yinka's a lot more interesting to me. She's a mixed race girl, half Nigerian, half English, and I find her a lot more interesting than Maya. But even with Yinka, I don't. Then there's another girl who does radio. She's on Kiss FM. Tania.
I don't really listen to radio.
I don't know. I just know them because it's entertainment, but I don't listen to Kiss. But yeah, she's like caramel, borderline dark, or darker, and you know she's doing her thing. And there's no difference between her and Yinka. The reality is, in entertainment, it doesn't really matter what complexion you are. Black is black. That's how they view it. Black is black.
I just want black men to just have our back more. Stop fighting us. I understand. You know what I think it is? I understand that black people are at the bottom of the food chain. And I feel like black men don't want to be at the bottom of the food chain, which is why they continue to oppress a black woman.
And associate with white.
I just think you need to have our back. The same way we're willing to have your back, you know, the minute someone gets shot, you don't want us to rip off our wigs and go protest with you. And when I'm out in these streets, like, I hate injustice so much. And I say I ride for my black men so much. So I'm not black men bashing, because if you're tall, dark, and you have a bed, I'm ready to off my fucking pant for you. Like, I ride for them, but it's just so disappointing. I remember one time I was with a friend, and I was a friend and his friend, and there was a situation where they were in the wrong, and me and my friend got pissed off. The first thing that flew out of his mouth was just being an angry black woman, and I was just like, you lot don't want to acknowledge what you did. So you get me angry, and when I'm angry, I'm an angry black woman. It's shit like that. You like to push us to the stereotype, and you like to remind us that everyone thinks we're this, everyone thinks we're that, and then you now say it to us as well. Like, just have our back.
What's worse is that what makes these people. The thing of it is, when you have limited experiences with white people, you actually lie to yourself about the reality. Let's keep it real. I grew up in white suburbia. All my friends were white when I was growing up. White girls are just as bitchy, can be just as loud, can be just as annoying, can be just as over the top and dramatic as black women. So when I hear these stereotypes being thrown around, I fucking laugh. It fucking makes me laugh, because I'm like, have you even fucking been around white women before you sit there and say white women are like this and what? And white women as well. I feel like you guys should do better, because the reality of it is that it's very insulting for someone to say that they would rather be with you because you're more passive. Like, I would find that very offensive. I wouldn't take that as a pat on the back. I really wouldn't, because to me, that's highly offensive. You're saying, because I'll sit there and allow you to fuck me over and treat me like however you want to treat me, I'm better because I'm a better doormat. But that woman over there won't tolerate it. If anything, we should even become allies.
That's called a slave mentality.
That's called a slave mentality.
You've got a slave mentality, and I really hope you lot just break out of it one day.
You have to.
And you need
White women are not the pinnacle. White women are just as bad. And half of you men that go in and date white women, you learn very quickly that a woman is a woman, regardless of complexion.
Date who you want, but just don't bash another race.
Don't bash anyone else.
I don't think any race is perfect.
Or put anyone on a pedestal.
Mixed race. No one's perfect. Have your preference, and have your preference in peace. Because the minute black women start, like Eve and Serena, Janet Jackson, do the most talking. Like, black Twitter needed to be put in rice, because you lot would not stop talking. And it's just like, what is your issue? What is your issue that these girls are going out with billionaires? Like, why are you mad?
Rihanna and Hassan.
Why are you lot mad? Why so much uproar? Because
Why does it bother you?
we're not allowed to comment on who you're dating. We have to
Exactly.
sit down and be quiet because
Exactly.
we're haters, because we're angry, because we've got issues with ourselves, because we want all there's too many black men in the pond for me to be worrying about the one that's going
The one
out
that
with
doesn't
Anna,
want-
Becky,
thank
whoever.
you.
I don't care.
Thank
No one
you.
cares. Black men, you're making it the issue.
Yeah.
You're making us look mad out here in these streets.
Yeah.
You tell your white girlfriends that we have an issue, they now feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
You have the issue. You
It's
have a
you.
self-hating issue.
Yeah.
And you need to deal with it. But just stop dragging us black women down.
Go
with
to
you.
therapy.
Go to therapy.
Go to therapy.
We're good. We love ourselves.
Yeah.
We good.
We good. We good out here. We good out here
We
already.
can't have a conversation with you lot about it because you lot start getting mad. You lot start saying things about blonde wigs
Yeah.
and
Look at that. The other day,
wigs.
remember I told you that there's a story
ridiculous.
about, there was a video of a Chinese boss that basically pushed his black female employee over some trivial shit. Wasn't even her fault. Pushed her, and then here comes some of these men in the comments talking about why she got blonde hair. Because she got blonde hair, I don't want to defend her. And you see that? The problem with you black men, what you don't realize is that if they can fuck with your women and they can fuck with your kids, you are easy bait. If you don't, you see white men actually, and this is not anything to do with me or giving them props and whatnot, white men will protect their women to the death. That's why they used to lynch. In America, that's why a lot of you black men got lynched. Because the minute a white woman started crying that, oh, he looked at me, he whistled at me, he did this, he did that, your ass was hanging from a tree. You were strange fruit hanging from a tree. Let's remember that. So white men know what it is to protect their women. That's what Donald Trump is doing. That's why Donald Trump is on this whole thing of he make America great again and blah, blah, blah. All of that is just subliminals. What he really wants is to get rid of you black men. First of all, his first agenda is to stop you black men from fucking his white women. That's number one. He doesn't want you lot fucking his white women.
You get lynched in America for
You
back in the
even
day.
today you still
Emmett
get
Till.
lynched. Emmett Till. Thank you.
Google it.
Thank you.
All had
We
to
all
was
know that
whistle.
story. You know
All
what
had
I
to
mean?
was whistle. And you know what?
And
yeah?
that's who you guys want to cape for. But guess what? When you're getting gunned down, how many Beckys are supporting you? Can I just ask?
They're all quiet.
They're
all
all them
quiet.
exotical Cardi B's that you lot want to put on a pedestal every now and again. The exotic J-Lo's. Oh, give me a Cuban bitch. I want this. I want that. Those are the same women that have nothing to say when you lot are facing these day-to-day issues, because guess what? They don't understand. They can't relate. They don't get it. And they don't give a fuck about you.
On that note, I'm just done. This whole topic had rooted from that post that our girl ZD Mailed put up, and the hate that came the way, it really just...
Very telling.
You black men get gaslighted, and then you come in your packs and your numbers. I feel like some of you didn't even read the whole post.
They don't even get gaslighted
You
because she didn't gaslight them.
You just saw something black men, and you just came to. You didn't even read it. You didn't
read it,
digest.
yeah.
You didn't let it sink in. You just came to show up and show out. And
They
act
were
dumb.
triggered. That's what it is.
Triggered. You were triggered because as a black woman, she wants to have a discussion. You feel
Yeah.
like you don't owe black women no answers. Fuck you.
Can't deal. And I think that's really a part of the problem. It's like we just cannot have a healthy conversation. We have to actually. The problem is there's been a silent war going on between
definitely a
black
silent
men
war.
and black women. It's a silent war, and if we don't address it, it's only gonna stand to get worse. It's gonna affect the next generation, because look at that video. There was a video
It's not affecting my child.
last week.
God
No, it's not going to
forbid.
affect my kids. Last week there was a video released. A black girl was fighting about 20 fucking Asian kids in a high school. The black girl tucked in. She swung one to the ground, kicked another one into outer space. Took this, took that, punched up one, next one. The other one didn't even know she had. All she had was stars on her head. Guess who the fuck was recording that shit? Black boys. So the black boys were recording that shit. Instead of them to be like, hold on, 1 second. The crew that she's fighting, there's guys in that crew. There's other boys in that crew that she's fighting. You man, let's go. Let's jump in.
Black men
Nah.
don't stick up for black women. I remember.
Nah, they record. That's what they do.
I was coming back from work, and God, because there were so many black men around me, I thought I would be cool. This guy's pulled up in his convertible, whatever. I wasn't checking.
What
him.
was he?
He was a black man.
I was black,
I was
yeah.
on the phone, to my friend, and he was like, "Can I talk to you?" I was like, "I'm on the phone." He was like, "Oh, get off the phone." I was like, "I got a man." He's like, "Fuck your man, innit, yeah?" And I was like, "Okay."
Whoa.
I just started ignoring him. He drove off. He came back down the road and said, "Why the fuck you being rude for, you ugly bitch?" surrounded by black men. This man was like, I should cut him, I can't punch you in the face.
What?
Thank God a bus came. It wasn't even my bus. I just jumped in the bus and got the fuck out of there. But these black men started just edging back like no one was trying to have my back.
Listen.
No, the only person that came to my defense
That's why you have to be nice to these
was
people.
a little Chinese man who was just like, he was like shielding me from this man. Like he's just like, he was ushering me to get on the bus, even though it wasn't my bus. But these black men just all moved back, and I didn't do nothing. I was on the phone to my friend. I just didn't want to talk to you, and you went around and you versed because you thought, fuck it, this girl don't want to talk to me, and you came back to call me an ugly bitch. Okay.
Low self-esteem.
But what shocked me was there was like big black men, from roadmen
to
working guys. And they all started moving away from the bus stop. And the one person that stood,
no, that's fine, because next time it will be their sister.
The 5-foot Chinese guy.
Nah, next time it will be their sister.
Me onto a bus.
Next time it will be their sister. That's what they don't realize. Next time it will be your cousin, your sister, your niece, your daughter. It will be one of them. And then you'll have to be watching them with a black eye because nobody else stood up for them. That's the thing. You have to stand up for each other. You know, like other races, they stand up for each other so much.
You see it on the train all the time. The minute something's going on, you just see all the white people are ready to just.
They're ready.
It.
Yeah.
Remember that time on the plane coming back from Morocco?
Oh,
the whole plane.
It was us versus the BA flight from the front, from the captain.
They didn't know what was going on
to the back.
All the white people on the plane.
They didn't even know what was going on
together,
yeah.
And it was just all the coloured people, the 8 of us. And the whole plane, people who were not even there were ready to back it.
Yeah.
And if that was black people, they'd all be nodding their heads.
If anything, the black people will be trying to get in with the other people because they'll be like, oh, especially if it's a black females and then there's black guys. The black guys are not going to take up. They'll be like, oh yeah, I know they're problematic, right? They're not going to see the situation for what it really is. And once again, we're not talking about all. We're just speaking in general. I feel like, you know, just the Black Lives Matter movement in itself shows you how much black women have got black men's back. But unfortunately, it's just not the same the other way around. And even things like what's happening to Chris Brown. Chris Brown is constantly has a target on his back, right? Dark-skinned women take up for Chris Brown the most on social media. No one else. All the white women, silent. All the exoticals, all of the Cardi B, Mexicano, and all of the Latina, baby. They're silent. They have nothing to say when it comes to Chris Brown's issues. Every time I go into a comment section where it's something to do with Chris Brown, because recently he had that whole thing of being being sued by someone who says she was raped at his party and whatnot. Guess what? Nada to say. Nothing. Not a word, not nothing, not this, not that. Nothing from anybody except for dark-skinned women. We know what it is to cape for you guys. And I do it myself. I've actually had to stop myself from doing it now. When I see things pop up, I stop myself. I stop myself because my thing is that you guys don't deserve it. Unfortunately, because of a certain number of people, black men who don't have respect for black women, I'm now having to withdraw all of my support because I feel like now it's looking like they're going to have to learn the hard way. They're going to have to know what it feels like to not have black women having their backs. Because guess what? We've been a buffer for a lot of the shit that you guys should have experienced but did not. You know what I mean? We've taken the arrows into our backs for you guys so many times. And I think we're tired now. I know. I'm going to keep it real. I will still ride for my black men. No, I'll ride for them. I love my black men. But if I don't know you now, fuck that. And if I don't know you, help myself. Deuces. When I see some sort of injustice going on, or when I see a black, even if it's no. In public, yeah. But I'm talking more like even like celeb stuff as well. I will still root for. I just want you to. I just want them to do better. I don't want it to be like we're gonna now drop our arms because if without the black woman, I really feel like you black women would be nothing, and that's just that. They would be nothing. Would be nothing without. We support them. A lot of you know this, and I feel like you should just do better. We support you so much. Yeah, we fight so passionately for you guys. We're out there doing the most for you, and all we want back is when we're being gaslighted, when anything's happened to us in the public eye, you don't just need to support us. Yeah, that's really that. And on that note, not even just in the public eye, anywhere, in the workplace, on the street, in social settings, just have our backs. Like shit, that is all we're asking for. Just have our back as much as we have yours. Yeah. And deep down, no matter what happens, you are still black. Exactly. And we're in this together. We're in this together. And on that note, we are going to move over to the L of the week. Okay. Lord have mercy. The L of the week. So the L of the week this week is going to be going to Andy Cohen and his comments about Kim Zolciak being ganged up on at the Real Housewives of Atlanta reunion recently. Someone please fucking play the violin. Boo fucking who. So basically, the reason why I'm giving this to him is because, number one, black women are the biggest supporters of the Real Housewives of Atlanta franchise. Number two, it's the biggest franchise out of all of the franchises that he has. It gives him the most money, makes him the most money, and makes the network the most money. And number three, he was the same one at the reunion talking about how, Kim, you had a bad season, your season was negative, there was nothing positive to show, and then you now want to turn around and backpedal because her and her white supremacist husband got underneath you and they were refusing to film that dying show, Tardy for the Party, or whatever the fuck. I've never even watched one episode of that trash. I gave it to him as well because it kind of reinforces everything that we fucking know, which is that people are happy, other races are happy to take our money, but they're never actually happy to support us when we need the support. Because even when he was saying that to Kim, it didn't even feel like he was trying to have them lots back. I feel like he was just being real about the situation. But then the reason why it's even more problematic that he came out and retracted, which he's now come back out and backpedaled and pussy popped again to say that he shouldn't have said that. But the reason why is because it's like, you're talking about 5 African-American women who attacked 1 white woman. No, motherfucker, you were not a victim. That's number one. Let's remember Kenya's first reunion. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
She got fucking hazed on her first reunion.
They've all been gathered.
Nini's, ooh, that time when Nini made it.
But as a black woman, you gotta be strong anyway.
There you go.
Strong.
See, but that's the issue that I'm having. Every time it's black women, it's like, because we can take hits and we know how to help ourselves through the situation, somehow we get our victimhood stripped of us. We get told, nah, like, it doesn't make sense to me. At the end of the day, she knew all the shit that she did was wrong. She's not the first person to be gathered like that. If you had an issue with it, then you should have been having an issue with it when it was happening to other people on different reunions. So you definitely get the L of the week. Fuck that shit. And do you know what? Congratulations, black women. I'm fucking proud of you. Let me tell you why I'm proud of you. Because for once, actually not for once, you guys always do it, but you just did it in a really good way. You made it clear that you were going to take your support away from something. And because of that, as a result, you got the respect that you deserved. Because the reality of it is that if he didn't think his coins were going to be affected, he wouldn't have been bothered about it at all. And that's what we need to keep doing more of. Yeah. Say you're going to boycott shit. When shit is not working for you, these people are out here disrespecting you, right, making you look a certain type of way, making you look like this and that, and not giving a fuck about your opinions. You need to be like, do you know what? That's fine, cool, do that. But guess what? We're not going to support your shit anymore. Right. We're going to take our money back. Goodbye, good night, and have fun. We need to do more of that. Because I think that's where you get results. That's where you get your respect. Because guess what? You have so much buying power. I remember watching something, I think it might have been Blackish, where they said if African Americans were a country, they would be the 15th richest nation because of their buying power.
Buying power is everything.
Buying power is everything. And when you realize how much like fucking hell, this stuff is like textbook. Martin Luther King used to fucking do it. Like, it's literally textbook stuff. Like, sorry, she's telling me to wrap up. But yeah, it's like textbook stuff. Like, Martin Luther King used to do it. Like, pull the plug on shit and then they'll change the policies. But yeah, anyway, that's the L of the week. Sorry. I rambled.
I'm going to say the win of the week is this podcast. The feedback, it's been amazing. Like, you lot loved it.
Yay!
The support. What did someone say to me? For telling your L of the week, you're a Marine. I just want to put a disclaimer out there. I'm not hurting in any way.
No, she's not.
Like, seriously. I don't care.
She's over it.
It's a laughable L.
Yeah.
So I understand a lot of people reaching out to me saying, you shared your story. I can't believe it. Thank you. But I really didn't even care like that. But the feedback from the podcast has been great. And the fact that we're on 4,700 views. We're not really active on social media. So this has literally all been from word of mouth. Yeah. And people reposting on their snaps and Instagram and broadcasting it. I see all of y'all that supported it. I also see all of you lot that didn't support it, but you still listen. So thanks for the listening anyway. But yeah, we're going to keep coming back to you. And
That's
again, we were sipping on red wine. This was £4 for Morrison's today. Morrison's did not sponsor us. They ain't trying to fuck with us, but this wine has been some really good wine. What's it called? Shae Pig?
It's called Shae Pig.
So we are coming to you. Shae Pig is 11%, and you don't need to add anything to it.
Yeah. No, it's actually okay. There's a little pig on it with 3 barrels.
Thank you, guys.
But yeah, thanks,
We've
guys.
actually gone on today.
Look, I know. Shit.
But we'll be back again next week, guys.
We'll be back.
With some more tea and mess.
Definitely. All right, guys. Toodles.